The rhythmic hum of the car engine filled the air as Sam and Linda cruised down Mosquito Creek. The winding coastal road bathed in eerie moonlight. The night was thick with the scent of salt and mangrove, the distant waves crashing against the shoreline. It was 3 a.m., and they were returning from a lively party. Sam's fingers drumming lazily on the steering wheel, Linda laughing softly beside him. The music played low, a distant rhythm of soca beats still lingering from the party. But the road ahead was desolate. Mosquito Creek was always quiet at this hour, except for the occasional truck or lone vehicle. Linda turned towards Sam, still giggling at something he'd said earlier. Sam, caught up in her laughter, glanced at her for just a split second. But that split second was enough. A movement in the corner of his eye, something white against the dark road. He snapped his gaze back to the windshield, his breath caught in his throat. There, directly in front of them, stood a woman. She was crossing the bridge, her long, white dress flowing in the night air. Her dark hair cascaded down her back, her head slightly tilted downward as if she were deep in thought. Sam reacted on instinct. "Linda, hold on!" he yelled, yanking the wheel hard to the left. The tires screeched against the asphalt. The car swerved violently. For a heart-stopping moment, it felt like they were weightless, adrift in midair. Then impact. A thunderous crash echoed through the night as the car slammed into something solid. The jolt sent both of them forward, the seatbelts locking in place just in time. The world spun. The engine sputtered and died. For a moment, there was only the sound of their ragged breathing. Linda was the first to move, fumbling with shaking hands to unbuckle her seatbelt. "Sam! Oh God, are you okay?" Sam groaned, pressing a hand against his forehead. Yeah, I think so." They looked around. Their vehicle had come to rest against a massive boulder, one that had stopped them from plunging into the murky waters below. The Godineau River loomed just beyond them, black and motionless in the moonlight. Slowly, they turned to look back at the bridge. The woman was gone. Their breaths came quicker now, their chests rising and falling in panic. Linda's voice trembled. "Sam, where is she? We almost hit her." She was right there." Sam's hands clenched into fists. "She had to have run off. Maybe she's hurt. We need to find her." They stumbled out of the car, the cool night air doing little to calm their nerves. The bridge stretched out behind them, empty and silent, not a single soul in sight. Sam's fingers fumbled for his phone. He dialed his father's number with shaky hands. His father picked up on the first ring. "Dad?" Sam gasped. We crashed. Mosquito Creek. We almost hit someone. An Indian woman. She was in a white dress, crossing the bridge. But now she's gone." A long silence filled the line. Then his father spoke, his voice grave. "Sam, stop looking for her." Sam swallowed hard. "What? Dad, what are you talking about? What if we hit her? What if she's hurt?" His father's voice dropped lower, the weight of his words pressing heavy through the phone. "There's no one there, son. No living soul, at least." A chill ran down Sam's spine. Linda stepped closer, trying to hear the conversation. His father exhaled, and when he spoke again, his voice carried an eerie solemnity. "You've seen the lady in white." Linda's breath hitched. "What do you mean?" Sam's father hesitated before continuing. "Long ago, near that very bridge, there was a young Indian woman. She was part of a Hindu funeral rite. Her body had been placed on the pyre, the flames set, as per tradition. The villagers believed she was dead." He paused. "But she wasn't." Linda clapped a hand over her mouth. His father's voice was steady, but laced with something dark, something ancient. She sat up in the fire, her eyes wide, blinking as if caught between life and death. The people screamed. Panic erupted. Some ran, some prayed, but no one dared approach her. She didn't move. She just sat there, trapped in the flames. The night seemed to grow colder. In the chaos, something happened. No one knows exactly how, but the fire consumed her. Some say she screamed. Others say she didn't make a sound. Sam's grip on the phone tightened. His father continued, his tone heavier now. "Ever since that night, People have seen her. She walks that bridge, crossing over and over, reliving her final moments. Some say she's searching for the family that abandoned her. Others believe she's a curse, an omen of death. Sam's pulse pounded in his ears. The accidents at Mosquito Creek, his father went on. Most of them are because of her. People swerve to avoid her just like you did. But not everyone is as lucky as you and Linda. Linda shivered violently. So what do we do? I'm coming for you, his father said firmly. Don't move, and listen to me carefully. Both of you. They held their breath. If you ever see a woman in white on the bridge again, don't stop. Don't slow down. Keep driving. The call ended. Sam and Linda stood frozen, their bodies rigid with fear. The waves lapped quietly against the shore. The trees whispered with the wind. Then, ever so faintly, a rustling sound behind them. Their heads snapped toward the bridge. And there she was, standing at the very edge, her long hair draped over her shoulders. Her white dress billowed in the breeze, and though her face was shadowed, they knew she was looking at them. The air felt impossibly heavy. The night itself seemed to hold its breath. Then, in one slow, deliberate motion, she lifted her hand and waved. Linda screamed. Sam grabbed her arm, yanking her toward the car. They scrambled back inside, locking the doors, their breaths coming in frantic gasps. Moments later, headlights appeared in the distance. His father's car pulled up beside them. He stepped out, his face lined with relief and something else, something like fear. He took one look at the bridge, his eyes darkening. You saw her again, didn't you? Neither of them spoke. His father nodded grimly. Come, let's get out of here. Without looking back, they climbed into his car. As they drove off, Sam stole one final glance in the rearview mirror. The bridge was empty, but deep in his bones, he knew the legend was real, and he would never drive Mosquito Creek the same way again.